Yo guys, before we start this video, I just want to let you all know that Blizzard recently got in touch with me and were kind enough to offer up a few virtual BlizzCon tickets to give away to you guys. If you want to have a chance at winning this giveaway, just make sure that you like this video and post something in the comments down below stating that you actually want the ticket, because if you just put a normal comment with no edit saying that you actually want the ticket, I'll just assume that you don't want it or you don't need it. So if you do want the ticket, be sure to add something in your comment down below saying that you actually want to win it. Also, make sure that you have private messaging on YouTube turned on so I can PM you a code and you can read it and so you can redeem it. Random winners will be selected based on the comments down below, so good luck everyone, have a good time. Also guys, a little quick heads up before we start this video, I just want to announce that I recently started a second YouTube channel for funny highlights and moments for other games, so if you are into that sort of thing, be sure to subscribe to the second new channel. The link to the channel will be added in the description down below, so be sure to check that out, and the first video is already published, so be sure to check it out if you are into that sort of thing. With that having said though, let's go ahead and dive into this video. In World of Warcraft, there's a lot of frustrating moments that make us want to tear our hair out or outright just quit the game, whether if it's due from pure annoyance or just straight up enraging events. In this video, we will go over top 5 most annoying moments for Legion players. Number 5, getting a shitty Keystone. Want to push a high key this week? Not if you get Cathedral. Some dungeons like Cathedral are way more difficult than other dungeons like Eye of Azara, especially if you do both of them on a high Mythic Plus difficulty. Nothing is worse than opening your weekly chest and then seeing a Cathedral key pop into your bags. It's like not even getting a key to begin with. It will sit in your bag all week unless it's a low level key and you can power through it, no problem, or if you just for some reason have some sort of sexual fetish regarding Cathedral. Now, I'm not complaining, I'm all for harder dungeons like these, which greatly eclipse other dungeons in difficulty since I really do like diversity. But oh man dude, you can't help but feel like a sinking sensation in your stomach when you see this key pop up in your bags instead of like Maw of Souls or Eye of Azara. Number 4, not getting loot from a world boss you need. Now, prior to patch 7.3, if there was a world boss that gave you loot that you really needed, a Wither Gem, Arcana Crystal, then you most likely wouldn't get it anytime soon. This is because world bosses prior to the current patch had no set rotation, meaning Gem could spawn 2 weeks in a row or not spawn for 3 entire months. Luckily, I was able to kill him and steal his crystal from his mana addicted ass self, but that doesn't mean that everyone else was as lucky as I was. I had a guildie who played since launch and didn't get his first Arcana Crystal until Nighthold came out, and you know, like a lot of classes, the trinket was the best in slot for him, so I can't imagine the pain that he would go through, you know, just praying and making sacrifices to the RNG gods only to have them make a steamy dump on his chest by giving him 18 gold. Number 3, getting the wrong legendary. Ah, legendaries. Not really legendaries if everyone has 9 of them in their bags, are they? Sorry, that's a different topic for a different video. Back to the subject at hand though, there's almost nothing more annoying than getting a shitty legendary as opposed to getting a legendary that you actually need, especially since it's pretty likely that after you get one legendary, you'll most likely go a few weeks until you get another. Rest in peace to my rogue who got Cepheus on like day 2 of being 110. It still hurts. Now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fun legendaries out there, but if you want to do some serious damage and optimize your performance, chances are you are going to want your best in slot legendary, and it's just really freaking sucks when you main DPS and then get a legendary like Prydaz. Now Prydaz has its uses, like if you're progressing on Mythical Dan and need to mitigate some damage, but on most instances you're going to want a better legendary that will actually improve your DPS directly. Well, hopefully in a few weeks or so, I don't get Prydaz on my rogue, please. Number 2, class nerfs. Now, there's nothing more shittier than devoting so much time to a spec and then having it be nerfed into the ground in a following raid tier, especially if you truly love the spec or if you have devoted some serious time into trying to optimize it. Now, this is especially shitty when it comes to Legion, because prior to patch 7.3 in the beginning tiers of the expansion, artifact power was a lot more difficult to actually acquire and served as a bigger necessity than it actually is today. That is because back then, everyone was farming artifact power so that they could get their main traits on their weapons, which if you do not have would prove to be a huge disadvantage. Also, the amount of artifact power that you would get back then was way less than you would get now due to not having to catch up mechanic and things revolving around that. Nowadays, you can just take it easy on the farming since you're mainly dumping it into Concordance and Netherlight Crucible upgrades, which is still pretty notable, but not nearly so in comparison to having your main traits on your weapon, which directly influence your rotation. Also, nowadays, you can get straight to Concordance in almost a single world quest. Back then, and this is when I did dozens of Mythic Pluses a week and rated in Heroic and Mythic, you seriously had to grind just to keep up to date on your main character, and it would seriously suck eggs. YouTube, I said eggs, don't censor me. If you had your spec nerfed and were forced to swap to a different spec, not only did you have to go through that grueling process of having to farm artifact power again, but you'd also have to farm legendaries, which would be outright just draining. It really was. You'd be devoting so much time to your mains that you can forget your ults. There's no way you can bring up an ult and just keep up to date on your main and your ult, especially if you were a raider or something like that. Thankfully, with 7.3 though, things are really easy compared to what they used to be. Number 1, Mythic DCers. Are y'all ready for this Keystone? Oh, hello my friend, good to meet you, let us make go. Oh, I am going to disconnection now, hello, goodbye, hello, bye. I'm so angry right now. I can slaughter 1,000 of those blue skin troll mongrels. Nothing is more aggravating than pushing a Keystone or having a high level Keystone and then having it be depleted because some asshole in your group decides to rage quit after one pull, or he decides to fake DC. Seriously, that grinds my gears, and it's the main reason why I never pug a group to upgrade my personal Keystone and why I generally only do Mythic Pluses with my buddies. But for those of you who resort to pugging, I'm sure you guys have run into similar instances like this where your entire run just gets ruined because that one dude in your group apparently has never wiped in his life before and decides to rage log because that's the only logical course of action. Or for some reason, they just have a shorter patience span than that of a freaking fly. I mean, like, seriously, why do people just join if they're going to leave right off the bat, those entitled, unevolved, primitive Neanderthal monkey lord?